Hey ladies, what's going on? Who was it? DMC? All of us heard DM. Yeah, Run DMC. I just heard their song. What's going on across the sea? It ain't nothing. Yeah, I barely have rhythm. I just learned something new about me. But good afternoon, ladies. I pray and hope that all is well with you. I am coming to you guys to say you made it out. We made it out. It's been a long journey, a pretty rather long series in cultivating. Hey, Miss Ebony, my pusher E. But it's been a rather long journey, but a necessary journey. And so I just want to tell y'all made it out. This is the last video for this series, and with that being said, it's actually going to be a rather small I keep saying scope, but a rather small live. So it's over. You have learned about what a transition is and how to make it through them. So you've adjusted, you've had growing pains and been gracefully broken, and you have recently, I know I just uploaded a lot of the videos, but you've been cultivated into exactly who you need to be for right now. But what I want you all to do is not forget what you learned, because the stuff is going to come back and it's going to knock you out if you're not ready. So if you take nothing away, I don't want you all to forget what you have learned in these as we've done this series here. So like I said, you've made it out. You have successfully transitioned. So I want you all to celebrate that fact, but don't celebrate it for too long, because we have to get back to work. You don't need to be distracted. You want to you're already focused, but I want you all to actually stay focused, to keep the ball rolling and hold on to that momentum. I remember a couple of months ago having a conversation with my spiritual father, and he stated to me, he said, one of the worst things you could do is to lose momentum, especially when you've already, got the ball rolling and going. You want to keep up with that pace, because once you lose momentum, you're back at square one. So you basically have to remotivate yourself all over again. You kind of have to pull everybody, and all of, everything else along with you. You want to keep it going. So whatever that means for you, keep the momentum rolling, because it's wartime. All right. So I need you all to apply every skill that you've learned thus far. Like wartime, that's actually going to be our next series. We're going to talk about the necessary things that's needed within the war. All right. Because you can't just go out there with no battle gear on. All right, you want to have on all of your armor. You want to make sure you not only have the knowledge, but the skills to actually go in and hone what it is that you are trying to do in life and your relationships. You want, again, in cultivating, you're always working. You are. Don't forget to take the break, but truly, you're always working. Yes, push past the distraction. Hey, Jenny. So you definitely want to push past those distractions. And yes, remotivating yourself is hard. Take it from somebody who knows. I'm all up in here. It's hard. It's super hard. But you also want to, don't get so worked up or overwhelmed that you forget to actually enjoy the process of being cultivated, putting all those skills together. Enjoy the process of what it is that you are actually building, right? Because that's part of the journey too. Yes, we see the vision, but we want to enjoy the steps that's led us to here. Let us to where it is that we're going and trying to get to. You don't want to forget the tears, because those tears, you know what? You've invested that into your soil, and because you watered that, you see it budding now, right? So you don't want to forget those things. It's even like I heard Ebony said that's why she don't stop and she take each step of it, step by step, right? Step by step in faith. Actually, that's the name of her website. That's why she's my pusher. She's my pusher. Or I call her Pusher E for that reason. Like, a lot of what I've been able to do is actually because she's been right behind me and on the side of me, dragging me along on some days, but I certainly appreciate her for it. So like, for those that are parents, we have to understand that you have to be patient. It's like, your child is growing up. Everything has its season, everything has its step, or, has its time. So we have to be patient with this process and with yourself. That's something I've had to learn, that it's okay that you don't learn everything. That's when you tap into the resources that are actually around you, to be your sounding board, or to, just kind of help you get those ideas out. Because sometimes for me, a lot of my ideas come when I'm actually talking to somebody. And I'm like, oh, okay, makes sense. I'm able to go a step further because I've had somebody to talk to, people that have been in this position, or could even just offer sound advice a lot of times, and help me get my fear out the way when I, like I've explained to you all before, I get fearful sometimes. But I noticed that if I'm being held up, I'm holding you all up, and that's not fair to y'all. And it's not fair to me because now I'm hindering my own process, right? But stay with the momentum. Keep praying. Keep praying. As Lara Casey said, she said, keep praying. It will grow your faith and provide clarity as well as direction. And I know that to be true for myself, right? I've received a lot of things through prayer. My prayer, when you pray with being intentional. So, God, I need this. I need to understand this better, and better believe, look to be answered. You're expecting God to answer you. He may not answer you that day or that next day, or even within those couple of minutes, but better believe, like, write it down, write your prayer down. And then when you get the answer, write that down too. Cause I kid you not, if I don't have my journal with me, but my God is my CEO journal. In the morning, I'll write down prayers, the thoughts, my feelings. I'm asking for forgiveness for certain things. And then the end of the day, or then there's like a Dear God section where I'm just talking to God, right? And by the end of the day, several of those prayers that I've prayed days before have actually been answered. So write down those prayers and expect God to actually answer, because again, and keep praying, because it provides clarity as well as direction. Again, trust the process. Trust the process. Trust the process. And I say it one more time, not only for the people in the back, but for me, trust the process. Because it all works out for your good. And timing is everything. I can't even stress that enough. Lara Casey stated also, she said, trust the process because good things grow out of hardship. And that is absolutely true. Absolutely true. If you look at athletes, if you look at movie stars, anyone famous, but anyone that's even just close to you, go to your grandma. We don't always have to look up to these famous people, but go to your grandparents and ask them what's come out their hardships. You've come out of their hardships. They've endured slavery, and there's a resilience that African Americans have that is like no other. And know that too is embedded in you, as well as it's embedded in me too. So dig your heels in, as Joel Osteen will say, dig your heels in and just stand in it, sit in it for a little bit, because once you actually realize what's going on, you'll realize in that same moment, like, you know what, this isn't as big of a deal. This is that I'm making it. So trust your process. Lastly, I want you all to remember that like transitions, tending a garden, tending to what you're doing, it's all about continual progress. So as long as I'm writing, taking the time to actually study to be able to provide to you all, that's growth. As long as there's one or two people chiming in, to catch the live videos, or even if they're catching the replays, that's growth. Right? Like I stated a couple of videos ago, or I think it was the last video, I started doing started Date Right back in September of last year. So it's already been a year in. We have several videos. It came just with a small announcement. I didn't know how it was going to play out, or what we were going to be doing and or talking about. But to God be the glory. He's given me nuggets to be able to share with you all. He's grown my intellect, as far as reading, and my capacity even to trust myself a little bit more, but trust in him way more than I trust in me. All right. Like last year, this time, I was worried about my book, crazily worried about my book. And now finally, thank God, to God be the glory, it's out. And I'm working on another. I didn't have licensing, or I didn't have my EIN number for, the corporation name. I knew nothing. So I've grown as an individual, as a woman. I've grown and learned to love who I am, love me and the skin that I am in, and everything about me. So I've grown to appreciate who I am while I, sat here and shared my life with you all. I've taught, I've done some of everything. So count those small wins is all that I'm saying. Truly, it's about tapping inside of you, because everything that you need for this life it's been embedded in you. God put that in you from the beginning, right? So always, ladies, I want to encourage you all to keep praying, keep pressing, and stand tall. I will talk to you all later. And Ebony and Jen, thanks for chiming in. Love you all. Mwah.